Now, Sarah Pochin is speaking, a woman who served as a judge for 20 years, one of the few people who still has her wits about her. She says, "Stop and search works." Of course it works, but today, police think twice before doing it because someone immediately shouts, "Racism!" Goodness, the police are now afraid of tweeting activists, not criminals. In the past, criminals committed crimes on the streets. Now the police are afraid. This country has turned upside down. People like Starmer have been selling our security for years under the guise of sensitivity. They sit in their chairs and say, "Let's look after the feelings of society." But no one is looking after the stabbing rates in society.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship today. So I'm going to speak about some of my experiences as a magistrate for 20 years in Cheshire. My observation about stop and search is that it does have effect, and that I do think very strongly that stop and search needs to be brought back with an absolute zero tolerance. I think the issues of police worrying about being accused of being racist or being accused of targeting particular groups in particular communities is something that we need to support the police in putting aside, because those policies do work in taking knives off the street. Let me just make a little bit of progress. I'm sorry. And the point about stop and search as well is that police and in fact politicians should not congratulate themselves on how many knives are actually found through stop and search. The point is we should be congratulating ourselves and the police doing their job as to how many knives are not found when stop and search is used to its maximum power, because that is the measure of success.
I don't quite get the lady's thread in regards to police searching people and not finding knives, but August 24, there was a 10% success rate in stop and search with the police. August 25, there was a 25% success rate. Now, the difference was that stop and search was data-led and intelligence-led. And so the question needs to be, do you want to go forwards or backwards? That is the question.
Thank you. Well, my point is that if stop and search is working, then eventually you'll get to the point where knives are found less often, because that is the measure of success. But the point is that we as politicians need to give our courts and our police the powers to have this zero tolerance approach to stop and search. The police need to have the confidence to carry it out without fear of criticism.
Pochin is right. The issue isn't how many knives you seize, it's seeing a country where no one carries knives anymore. But you need brains to understand that. You need to remember the logic of a functioning state. Then Dawn Butler comes out and says, well, it's gone from 10% to 25%. It's data-driven. That's the Labour mindset. They've reduced human life to an Excel spreadsheet. Stop and search is not a statistic. It is a deterrent. If someone on the street thinks, I wonder if they'll search me today, then it works. But people like Butler can't understand this, because in their world, the criminal is also the victim, and the police are also the oppressors. And then there's this fear of racism issue. It's really funny. In the 80s, during the Thatcher era, the police were the authority on the streets, and criminals were afraid. Now, if someone carries a knife, they say, they've been traumatized, let's empathize. We've put everyone in therapy, but forgotten to clean up the streets. The state is supposed to instill a little fear. Yes, fear. Fear isn't a bad thing. It's the foundation of order. If the police are afraid, criminals are free. It's that simple. If today the police think, if I make a mistake, my career is over, then this country is already finished. Think about it. 20 years ago, no one would have called such a conversation racist. Today, even defending it takes courage. This is where Britain has ended up. Security has become a matter of debate. In a country where people ask, are we being too harsh? Crime will inevitably rise. If we don't trust the police, who will protect us? Guardian reporters or activists on Twitter? Write your comments. I'm genuinely curious. Do you think the police can do their job without fear? And if you also say that the law is stronger than fear, leave a like on this video. Subscribe, because this country will recover if the silent majority speaks up.